Sharing my work for feedback is my least favorite part of the creative process. How do I present my work to others in a way where they don't think less of me as an artist while still getting usable feedback on how to improve my work? The thing that sucks is that you can't. There comes a point where you just have to share your work with someone.
As you can see right here, guys, we have a very mysterious binder. I'm going to be reading it, and I'm going to be very blunt with my notes.
That right there is the next great American film.
This is my good friend Eros, and I am giving him the first 16 pages of the first draft of my new feature-length film. Now, I do have to admit, I spent the last year and a half writing a collection of screenplays for another idea. Let's call it The Crystal Ball. And even though I spent a lot of that time very sick and in the hospital, I obsessively worked on it whenever I was physically able to use my brain. And after a year of writing from a place of extreme malnourishment and illness, I abandoned the project believing that my illness was the reason why I couldn't get the script right. And even though there's some truth to that, in reality, it's because I didn't get feedback on the script early on. The longer I went without sharing my work, the more I was emotionally cemented into these ideas, preventing me from making any necessary changes for this script. And so I need to distance myself from it. So I'm going to put that one away. It's quite the ambitious project, story-wise, and I decided that I was going to start on a different story that I loved. Finished the 2-mile run with Eros. I got 2 miles back on the bike to go home. Today's gonna be a writing day. I'm gonna be writing this new feature. I've had this idea for years, but now I'm really dedicating myself to working on it because this is the next production, which I will announce more formally eventually soon. But for now, writing day, you'll see my process a little bit. Now just get to the house, step into the studio, and get some work done. My goal with this script is to not repeat the mistake of my last scripts. I need to plot all of my scenes out, make sure that they work together, and quickly type out the first draft in order to get feedback on the early idea. Alright. I'm currently screenwriting and in doing the screenplay formatting of the first draft in Final Draft, which is very, very exciting. So yeah, I'm going to be continuing to work and plug away at that today. And then to take breaks, I'll be doing some sketch studies. So yeah. My hands, I don't know why, but my hand's kind of like shaking when I write. Yeah, see that? I'm not doing that. As soon as I move my hand, it's, you see. As I typed some of the introductory and establishing plot points into my screenplay, I grew curious about whether or not it made sense, whether or not it built intrigue, and whether or not you could get an idea as to who these characters are and where they're going. So I typed up the first 16 or so pages, reviewed it on the iPad, and sent it out to my buddy. But I wanted to just kind of see a bit of like, okay, do we know the world a little bit? More importantly, do we know who these characters are or where they start from? And I kind of want to, I don't know, like. So who do you think these characters are first and foremost? Like just tell me what you read.
I kind of understood 3 characters the most, which is they have that little back and forth. The cocky cop that probably gets everything done all the time, and then it's probably the one that kind of keeps him in check, and like he's like the more the goody guy that follows the orders, keep things by the book, and has to keep him in check. You can obviously tell is more of a he's selfish but a smartass. He seems like he's been doing things just for himself, but he's just had bad luck. Overall, between the 3 main guys at least, or at least just the main 2, you do understand kind of who they are. I mean, you kind of get their personality right off the bat.
Tell me about like their desires, like what they want. Like, could you come up with a sense of what they're aiming for? I guess where their aspirations lie.
What does he want? Is he just trying to get by? Is he just a pothead?
Tell me about like where do you see him as just in general, like how do you like aspirational wise, like what does he want? I mean, you say he's like goody two shoes. He's a good...
Well, it seems like he's trying to do everything by the book as a police officer to eventually be a captain and kind of just be
right.
the overall good cop and stuff.
Just like kind of like going up the ladder,
right?
And doing.
Yeah. I don't.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Call for the next thing with the mystery was that email, and it did perfect. Like that was like, again, there's a mystery there. With it wasn't that quick.
Now here's the thing: is those mysteries are tied together.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's just
the delivery of it.
Right.
Like,
Like
a little long.
Right. Well, so with the feedback of that first introduction to the story, I got some good insights. I only sent the first 16 pages of the script's first draft to Arrow. So what I wanted to know in the feedback was more of if I was able to communicate who these characters are, what they do, where they're at in life, and where they want to go. Eros did say that with our protagonist, we didn't really understand his desire and his want. There is a moment where I do, in fact, state or show what he wants, but it is kind of like a blink and you'll miss it thing. I don't want to spoon feed, certain information to the audience. I think that's pretty boring. But I also do need to keep in mind with that note that I should probably be weary of being too subtle with the revealing of certain information. These characters, I really do enjoy them a lot. I can't wait to see how they evolve over the coming weeks, over the coming months, as I detail out this script and work on the concept art and the design of these characters and the world that they exist in. With that, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave my studio so I can get back to work. So, shoot, go.